Okay, just to carry on from where we were, back at the OK Turbo shop here. The fillets have all cured overnight. They look pretty good. I'm pretty happy with them. And I may do a little, fill with some Bondo filler on the ends just to kind of clean that up a little bit there, but they look good. So I'm happy. Take a look down, see if maybe you can see them. Nice and even. A few little waves on that one, but nothing you can't sand out, or when the primer goes on, it'll smooth out. So the next step here really is we're really winding down on this thing. Is I'm going to mix up some of the 105 West finishing resin, laminating resin. It's pretty thin stuff. And it's really the original intent or purpose of this West System stuff is for boats. So it's a good waterproof. The 207 hardener's got some UV inhibitor in it. So really it's made to be just painted over woodwork on boats to help protect it from the weather and preserve it. So I think what I'm going to do is give the fins a good coat. I'm going to go inside and get as much of the couplings as I can, give them a good, not really a soak, I wouldn't say a soak, a coating. Give them a good thin coating of that stuff. Hopefully it'll soak in. Maybe that's where I'm getting at. Soak in a little bit to strengthen it plus preserve it. And on the inside of the tube, it helps it make it easier for you to clean up things after the ejection charge, and you get that soot and stuff in there. If you've got a coat of epoxy on it, of the laminating resin, it makes it easier to wipe it out. I've also used thin CA for that stuff, but that's awful fumy, and it's a little harder to sand. So I'm going to try this. We'll see how this works. Plus, in the instructions, I think he kind of recommends it anyway. And I have been, I do take a look at the instructions every once in a while. See if I can see where it says we go. That. Finishing. Imagine that, it's under the finishing section. Highly recommended to seal the fins with a finishing epoxy before priming. So, that's what Scott says. That's what I'm going to do. I'm trying to follow, like I said, a lot of his rockets, I try and follow the spirit of the build. And his rockets are built a little bit differently. They seem lighter weight, the fins seem kind of thin. Even on the big 4-inch Thor, most 4-inch rockets you'll see, 1/4-inch thick fins. Those aren't nearly as thick. But, I've flown this several times and it's held up well. So that's obviously enough. I'm guilty of it. I have a tendency to overbuild and make things heavier than they need to be. So still haven't glued in these stemplers for the forward tube, so I'm going to do that too. Mixed up 40 milliliters of the epoxy, 3-to-1 ratio, so you end up with 4 parts. So 3 parts resin, 1 part hardener. The trick here is when you get like a larger batch of it to just spread it out on a plate, and that helps it from getting too exothermic and building up heat and then really snapping off the reaction. So plus it's a little cooler today here in Oklahoma, so when it's hot weather-wise, it also will speed that working time up. So I'm going to go ahead and use my extendo tool and a foam brush and go ahead and glue in these tubes, these couplers. We'll actually go in from this side. Give that a wipe to clean that up. That should be pretty close to the right depth. Okay, so what I'm going to try and do here is, this is where it's going. So to get the depth right, set that there. Oh, you're not gonna be able to see this, but what I'm trying to do is on the other end here. There you go. I could feel it bottom out against that. Then you kind of look inside. There's some squeeze out in between the couplers. Of course, it should be good on this end. This is the nose cone end. So I'll just reach in there with my foamy brush and kind of smooth that. Kind of smear that around a little bit. Then I'm going to just a little alcohol on a towel here, and then just clean up any excess. I don't think I got any on this, but I'll check it just to be sure. Okay, this is giving some coating of this resin to the inside of these. You can see kind of as it slowly soaks in, it turns the cardboard dark. It takes a few seconds though. See how pale that is. Then I'll go through. I already had some runs from before. Just kind of smearing it on, not really building up very much. Get all the wood surfaces there. Okay. I did go ahead and coat these couplers. What I did, so just put a little dab of it on there and then I rubbed it in with my hands. I just want the lightest coat, just to kind of harden that coupler. So let's just try it out on these fins and see how this looks. I'm actually good with the, I don't know, that's doing pretty good. The foam brush. I have a bristle brush over here, a little bristly epoxy brush. I'm hoping this will kind of level itself and just make a nice slick coating. If not, I'll be doing some sanding. Okay, I think I'll turn the camera off. I don't need to torture you with any more of this. Well, the 40 milliliters of finishing resin was just about right to do all this. Now I've got all the fins coated. I set it up vertically here because I'm trying to get this coupler coated. And like I said, I just dabbed it on there and rubbed it in just for the thinnest coat to kind of harden that. Then add a little piece of plastic there, just try and keep from gluing any of that together. I may try and get the inside of that once this is all done, just with a little spot of it. But fins look good. They're going to be curing. Hopefully that'll self-level. I don't think I have enough to really make any runs, but there we are. This is when this one's coated. Inside of that's coated. Got those. I think I'm good right now. That's about all I can do for the time being until that cures.